In class, today I want to discuss with you about air pressure and winds. So what is air pressure? We all know that our Earth's surface is enveloped by the atmosphere, which is a thin layer of gases, dust and water vapor. We have already discussed this in the previous classes. Now this air, it has weight. Okay, in your lower classes you've already learned air has weight. I think you do agree that air has weight. So because air has weight, let us consider this as the surface of the earth. Because of the air has weight, the air in the underlying regions bear the pressure of air of the overlying regions. That is known as air pressure. So how will we define air pressure? Air pressure is the total weight of a mass of column of air above per unit area. Okay, we take this per unit area. Suppose this is per 1 meter or maybe per 1 kilometer. How do we measure this pressure? It is measured in millibars. Okay, millibars. What is the average air pressure? The average air pressure at sea level is 1013.25 millibars. Okay, how do we measure this air pressure? We measure this air pressure with the help of mercurial barometer. Okay, barometers are instruments which are used to measure air pressure. We also can use aneroid barometer, altimeter. Okay, there are so many instruments to measure air pressure. You may be thinking why we don't feel the air pressure. Human beings have such a mechanism that inside our bodies there is a mechanism of pressure. We have the pressure which can bear the pressure of the air. So air seems much lighter to us. Now the whole world is divided into different air pressure regions. Okay, so we will come to the different air pressure regions. Now these air pressure regions, they are determined by mainly two factors. Okay, first of all we come to the factors. Now the first of these factors is thermal. Okay, thermal factor and dynamic factor. We have thermal and dynamic. We have two major factors which affect the air pressure of a particular region. Now what is this thermal? We have come across temperature already. So whenever you hear the word thermal, it means temperature. Okay, it has relation with, originates with temperature. Dynamic means it can be many other things. Dynamic, here we are considering the rotation of the earth, okay, which is most important. Now into how many regions do we divide the earth into air pressure regions? First of all, we have the first air pressure region, that is equatorial low pressure region. Okay, equatorial low pressure region. Why is this region having equatorial low pressure? Why is this area with low pressure? Now, as we have discussed already in the distribution of temperature, the regions in the equatorial region, they are the areas having the highest insolation. So that is why there is high temperature. Now, where there is high temperature, the air gets warmed and it rises. Okay, wherever there is high temperature, the air is warm and it rises. So because of the rising air, there is less pressure. Okay, and when the air is cold, the air sinks down and it settles and the pressure becomes more. So that is why equatorial region has low pressure. So this region is also known as the doldrums. Okay, there is calm in the region, doldrums, low pressure region. So you remember this equatorial low pressure region, which is in between 5 degrees and 5 degrees north and south. Okay, normally, but it also shifts its position. In the summertime in the northern hemisphere, it shifts up to 25 degrees, and in the summer of the southern hemisphere, it shifts up to 20 degrees. Okay, so this area keeps on shifting. This low pressure region can shift. Now we come to the next pressure region, which lies on both sides of the equator, that is high pressure region, tropical high pressure region. Okay, here tropical high pressure region. Now you see this 25 to 35 degrees Celsius. These regions also receive insolation for most parts of the year. For 8 or 9 months, they have just about 3 months which have low insolation period. So we may consider why they have high pressure instead of having low pressure, just like the equatorial region. They have high pressure because of the dynamic factor. Here the dynamic factor comes into existence, comes into play. Now because of the rotation of the earth, as the earth rotates, the air also moves. Okay, the air moves and the air settles in this region. Because of the earth's rotation, the air settles in this region. So because of that, we have high pressure region in the tropical regions, north and south of the equator. Okay, now we come to, okay, there's another point which I would like to mention here. Tropical high pressure region is also known as horse latitudes. You remember this? Why are they known as horse latitudes? In the ancient times, when people used to sail in the seas and oceans and go to distant lands, here, because of the high pressure, there was very little wind and the ships could not move. In order to make the ships light, they used to carry horses, which they threw it into the oceans. They used to trade in horses and they threw the horses into the oceans so that the ships can light and they can move ahead. So this region is known as horse latitudes. Okay. Now next pressure region is subpolar low pressure region. And here also we have subpolar low pressure region. Now you see the area 60 to 65 degrees north and south of the equator, both north and south. Now these areas 60 to 65 degrees, they have low temperature. So when we say low temperature, it was supposed to have high pressure. Okay, cold temperatures, it was supposed to have high pressure, but why it is having low pressure? Okay, this is also again because of the earth's rotation. Because of the earth's rotation, the air moves towards the tropical regions and the pressure is released. Okay, the pressure is released, so there is a low pressure region in the subpolar regions. Okay, then next we come to the northernmost and the southernmost region, the polar regions. Now the polar regions here, they have high pressure. Okay, polar high.